Hi, everybody. This is Advocate Lucinda, your empowerment lawyer. Well, last week I uploaded a video entitled Options to Sue Government Officials. And in the video, I addressed which courts certain matters are filed in. We also addressed federal courts having concurrent jurisdiction over supplemental matters, meaning the federal court can hear state claims. Generally, the plaintiffs file federal claims in federal courts. But what happens when the plaintiff files federal claims in the state court? And it's possible under certain circumstances. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And the plaintiff's right to file a motion to remand, asking the court to move the case back to the state court from the federal court after the defendant had the case moved to the federal court. And I will provide you with a sample motion to remand plaintiffs so you can know the requirements and what the court is looking for to determine whether to grant your motion to remand. So first, let's look at the federal court and what type of claims would be filed in the federal court. But first, remember, federal district courts have original jurisdiction, meaning they are the first court to hear cases that arise under the Constitution, federal laws, or treaties. Is when the case involves a federal question, again, which includes a violation of federal law or the United States Constitution or treaties. When there's diversity jurisdiction, meaning the parties are from different states and the amount in dispute exceeds $75,000. Cases exclusively heard in the federal court against federal officers for violating constitutional rights or certain civil rights violations, for example, Bivens action. And certain federal laws like Title VII of the Civil Rights Act specifically allow lawsuits to be filed in federal court. So, plaintiff, if you file a federal claim in a state court, be prepared to get challenged by the defendant because the defendant is likely to file a motion to have the case moved to the federal court from the state court. Why? And it will argue that the case could have been brought in the federal court originally. Actually, it's called defendant's notice of removal. And so there is a process. And the following page is a good read that addresses the process. And here is that read. The attorneys did an excellent job in breaking down the process. Plaintiff, I believe you can click the link and it will open. But just in case, I'm also going to leave the link in the description page of this video. But you need to read this because it would help you to understand where the defendant is coming from. Now, plaintiff, you can challenge the defendant's removal efforts. It's called the remand. But before we get to the remand, let's discuss supplemental jurisdiction. I think that's critical in the plaintiff's effort to get the case remanded back to the state court. Now, I'm of the opinion if the plaintiff is going to have a fighting chance to get that case moved back to the state court, the plaintiff must have something to hang their hat on. And that is, in my opinion, the plaintiff must have at minimum filed state claims or asserted supplemental jurisdiction in the complaint pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, 28 U.S.C. Code Section 1367A. And that section says the following: except as provided in subsections B and C of this section, as expressly provided otherwise by federal statute, in any civil action of which the district courts have original jurisdiction, the district court shall have supplemental jurisdiction over all other claims that are so related to claims in the action within such original jurisdiction that they form part of the same case or controversy under Article 3 of the United States Constitution. And one state claim that we mostly see in these federal lawsuits is emotional distress. So if the plaintiff successfully convinces the court that the case should be moved back to the state court, the court would issue a remand order. Similarly to the removal order, if the defendant convinced the court that the case should be moved to the federal court. Now, here is the case I was referring to earlier, Baker versus Sarr. And it is a motion to remand to the state court. And I wanted to provide this to you, plaintiff, so you can know what to expect from the court, what the motion to remand looks like, and what to expect. Pay attention to the grounds upon which the plaintiff argues for a remand. Obviously, your facts are different, but the concept or the formula, as I say, is the same. You should be able to click this link and go right to the motion. But just in case, I will leave the link in the description page of the video. All right? I trust this has been helpful to you. And as always, I am Advocate Lucinda, and we will see you next time. Take care.